I take a picture for a thumbnail, and I was like, um, I don't know. I was like, oh, I'm gonna jump on live on here for no reason. Let me just touch up my face. Oh, look, there's all these different like filters I can use. Oh, I can go black and white. That's kind of fun. Yeah, I don't have any makeup on or anything. Hey, what's going on? I'm just playing with the filters. I was just jumping on because I don't really know. I don't ever see anybody on YouTube live. I do TikTok lives. I was banned for like a week, and I think I'm finally unbanned on my main account, but yeah, most people like will have like all these filters and makeup, and some people like talk crap about me because I'm like sometimes will go on without any of that. But I'll be 39 at the end of the month, so I honestly think I look good for my age. My nose has been very stuffed up with bad allergies for weeks. So, hi. How are you? I'm just playing around with the live feature for a minute. I might go live on TikTok though. I really need to work actually, and I have been working. If my boss sees this, I have been working. I have a work from home job. I'm in sales, but it's a lot of phone calls and going on the computer and pricing, emailing, there's different things I have to do. So I can like not really be dressed and not have my makeup on and still be like in the middle of my workday. But anyway, I was just trying this out for a second. I know YouTube's gonna try to like compete with TikTok, so it's gonna get interesting to see they're all competing against each other. So far, TikTok seems to be the best for like going live and like just, I don't know. I like it over there a lot. And I like making the videos on TikTok. I kind of like TikTok better, but I've been trying to grow over here on YouTube because I know that once I get like my niche or meaningful videos, longer form content or whatever, you can get monetized or whatever. You have to have 4,000 watch time hours. So that's the hard part. You have to have 4,000. I have over 20,000 on my short videos, which is weird to think that like a 15-second or a 5-second, 20-second, these minute-long videos would add up to like 20,000 hours. Because like, that's like 1,000 days. That's like, if you divided 24,000 hours, right? That's a lot. That's like keeping one person on the app for like 3 years, if you think about it. But on the longer form content, you have to have 4,000. So if you guys were ever wondering how to get monetized, because that's eventually what you really want to do is produce like really good videos, longer form, where you get a commercial in there and you get paid half of whatever the fee is for the commercial. So I think I was watching and they said if you get 1 million views, you're looking at getting about $2,000. So, but there's people that post a lot of videos, right? That get lots and lots of views and they make really good money off of it. But this is just a hobby for me. But at some point, if I could film something that, but I would want to like keep up with, or I don't know what I'm going to do 100%, because I would like to have like a podcast or just be like interviewing people on the street or taking polls, or there's so many things you can do that are creative, but you have to just do it. And a lot of people, it's one of those things like so many people are like, I really want to do this, and then they don't, they don't. And then that's what I didn't want. I didn't want to look back years later and be like, I should have done that. I should have, because I wanted to make a YouTube channel like 10 years ago. It's like, I even had some videos I was going to upload, but I was scared of like putting myself out there, especially with corporate, and especially now it got like they literally will like cancel you and like go after your job. It's gotten ridiculous. So I was like not putting myself out there um on social media and I knew my mouth would get me in trouble. So I finally just got over that, and I went over to TikTok and started just going crazy over there, because I almost forget that you're like live on a camera and people are watching. And so I was just going psycho. And then basically I grew a following over there, and then my family wasn't really over there. Eventually they found out though, and then they'd be like, I can't believe you posted that video, and like, you have children. And it was just, I got a lot of scrutiny, but it's like I didn't really care anymore. I stopped caring about, because the world has gone mad. Okay, it's like insane. And people need to like stand up and stop being like so scared, to go against the herd, because sometimes the herd is wrong. Like sometimes, the people with the mob, whatever, the mentality of the people is not always correct, and it's like you could have a group of people picking on somebody, bullying them, but that one person that's like, that's wrong, like, don't bully it doesn't, but that's what these people a lot of people don't get, is that whatever the PC, politically correct, whatever it is that's going on that week, it's like, oh, well, we don't do this and we don't do that and we don't talk like that. We don't use this word anymore. It's like, I don't know who's deciding it, So I'm like, I'm not the type of person that can just like keep my mouth shut. Like, because I don't care that much. I think the biggest thing is whether or not you're like a people pleaser, like, or whether you have integrity, and whether you're true to yourself, and whether you can really like weather the insults that come at you. Um, and that's what makes somebody who's like bold enough to stand up for um, what's right, versus what's wrong. And not because you can't worry about what's popular, you can't worry about that. It goes down to like, what is your moral compass? And some things that are going on right now are wrong. They're just wrong. And people, are allowing it. The You miss the old days. I know. I'm almost 40. I mean, I'll be 39 at the end of the month, but it's like I miss it too. Like I miss when you could make these funny jokes. Like, no, people were not that sensitive. Like they didn't get offended. Like you didn't get a joke wasn't fact checked. Like they started fact checking a meme. It's like it's not supposed to be 100% true. They're like, "Oh, this is partially true." It's like it's a joke. Like we actually had comedians like that were hilarious. And nobody, people just were not that sensitive over every little thing. I mean, it's gotten nuts, So for me, only being like, I'm 38, but I'll be 39. But I've seen the world change so much from like, cassette players. I mean, my mom even had a record player when I was a kid, and we had the Walkman with the cassette, and then it turned into a Discman, and so we've seen like the world completely change, right? In the last few decades. And yeah, so I still grew up in a time where we had the phone on the wall, right? And you didn't have a cell phone recording every little thing, and you weren't taking a picture of every little thing you did, You're like, oh, I'm eating breakfast. I'm eating lunch, you know? It's like I don't know. And people just were not like, this cancel culture or whatever. It's like, and making up new words and changing science. It's like, who's going to stand up against this? It's like, we have to. We have to because they can take things too far. Okay. On one hand, I know people want um they want good things, right? They want universal health care. Everyone to have health that's affordable, food for they want good things. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. People want um the green, the renewables, and they're so into that, but they don't understand that like the government or whatever entities controlling that is they don't really care about the environment. They only want to like make a bunch of money. The same oil companies producing like, Shell and Exxon and all those guys, they're making money, right? On gasoline. They're making money on electric cars too. That's what people don't get. A lot of people don't. The natural gas is like literally floating on top of the petroleum under the ground, and it gets mined, and they suck out all that natural gas that goes in, that gets turned into electricity. So there's some other things that get turned into electricity like wind and solar, but we don't have the infrastructure to run everything on wind and solar and hydro or whatever. We're just not there yet. So most of your electric cars that are being plugged in, you're still like giving that money back to Shell, like the same oil companies that like you're getting gasoline from. Shell actually just started doing residential electricity here in Texas, okay? And they're pledged to be like, I think carbon free by like 2040. They're all doing it. That's what you don't understand. I don't know who you is. The people that don't get it is who you is, okay? The people that don't understand, they just in their minds think we have solar, the sun's always there beaming down, and it is wonderful, but those panels are so expensive. I laugh at people who are full woke and want to go full electric. Yeah, they don't understand because they don't get it. Like Green Mountain Energy. So I sell electricity, right? So I'm in the market, right? So I've seen it pulling pricing for volatility. I've seen them go like crazy, right? With the natural gas. It was like, if you look at the Henry Hub, it's a chart. There's day traders buying and selling natural gas. You're in Houston? Yeah, so they're buying and selling natural gas, right? And because of the thing going on in Europe, in Ukraine, the United States has been able to make so much money selling natural gas to Europe. So whatever's going on, somebody's making a lot of money. A lot of money. That's all I know. And I had to watch, I had to tell customers who were renewing on their electricity that like, yeah, your rate's going to be like double or triple what it was. Sorry, that's the market. And they just didn't get it. They're like, I don't get it. How is it this high? It's like, there's just stuff going on over in Europe and, the Ukraine and Russia thing, it's just because they put sanctions on the pipeline. So he cut off the pipeline. He's like, stop, and then they said he was the one, right, that was making energy a weapon, weaponizing energy, okay? Well, guess who got to make a lot of money? The USA, because they started selling natural gas to Europe for an insane amount of money, right? And so there's people that will do renewable energy that's what I was saying when somebody was saying they laugh at them. Okay, like going 100% electricity, right? Electricity, the renewable energies, like working for a very large electricity company, they have solar farms and windmills and all of that stuff. So we do have some contracts that are 100% renewable. But if you get one of those contracts, your electricity is still going to come from natural gas, more than likely. Does that make sense? Oops, be careful there. Your electricity is not, they don't have a windmill with a little wire coming to your house to supply you your renewable energy. They don't have that. You are getting the same lines that everyone else is getting. That's how your house is being ran too. The only thing about you signing a 100% renewable contract, and you'll pay a little more for it, is that the company will pledge to produce that much in power, right, in their solar farm. I don't know where that energy goes. I probably should ask, because there's these solar farms, and then all these companies are invested in those, and then the windmills, and then the batteries and stuff. But it's like, it's not what's going to your house to run your house. So I don't know who takes that electricity and uses it, or if it just goes into the grid kind of altogether. Because I know when we had this big, huge, giant thing in August a couple years ago, there was no sun, and it was it was overcast, really cloudy. So solar wasn't cutting it. There was no wind. The wind wasn't going, so wind wasn't cutting it. Okay, and so they had gotten into their reserves. I can't understand how these morally superior people don't see that they're the actual fascists. I know. Well, I know, that's the thing too. It's like, especially as many times I've been censored and blocked and banned and for ridiculous stuff, it's like you can't even say your opinion anymore or question, right? You can't even question anything. It's like, it gets kind of weird, and a lot of people aren't aware of it. But if you're on social media, and you start talking about stuff that the people kind of in charge of Hollywood don't agree with, let's just say the big tech companies, right? And this is one of them. But see, good morning. They actually allow you to have a voice to some degree, because if they cut everybody off their platform that doesn't agree, they're not going to have the controversy. They're not going to have the people debating. People won't spend as much time on their app, right? So they leave us on, but I don't know. I've been banned so many times on TikTok, and it's like, I'm like, it wasn't hateful. What I said was not hateful. And I'm like, why am I getting, I've been banned a week over there because of hate. And I'm not a hateful person. But you say one little thing about, just gender roles or identity or whatever, it's like they just cut you off. And I'm like, oh my God. And somebody asked me, they're like, would you ever be with a girly man? And I was like, so I went on about whatever, different. And I'm like, I know gender is a social construct. Okay, well, I know that part is, but it's still biological to some degree. A lot of it is still biological. I was actually filling out the Care Now. They just changed it for the doctor's offices now. Care Now, because I've had a cough that's been persisting. I'm gonna go in and try to get an inhaler. It's not bothering me now, but if you can click female, male. Now they have this 3 other options or 4 other options. So I have 6 options at the doctor's office. You can be female, male. You could be it's female to male, male to female, and then they had one called it's gonna bother me. I don't know what it was called because it was kind of funny. But there was one that you just don't identify, neither male or female. You have to click your box of female or male, but then you have your gender identity that you can click. and then an other. An other. I'm like, what? They're like, you're female, you're male, you're male to female, you're female to male, or you just don't identify as any gender, either or, like the gender fluid, or an other. It's like, my gender is cat. That's like, what is the point? You're gonna go in the doctor's office and be like, please identify me as my gender. Like, who's doing that? Who's changing the freaking all the paperwork? All like, for what? I don't know. I mean, I have nothing against trans people, nothing. But if you see somebody wearing a dress, okay, ma'am. If they're calling themselves Jennifer, but legally they're Jack, people address them as Jennifer, and just cool. Okay. Yes, ma'am, here's your but do you need an extra box to like say, I don't subscribe to any gender? I mean, who's out there like berating the healthcare worker saying, oh, you misgendered me, I'm sorry, but, and making a big stink about it. And they call us a Karen, or me, I'm a Karen if I want to talk to a manager because something's just unacceptable. Sometimes I can be a Karen. Don't tell anyone. Sometimes I can. I get mad and I'm like, this is unacceptable. Like, because it's getting that way. It's getting like worse. The quality of like service, especially like customer service. Oops, I hope nothing showed there. Is getting like worse. People don't want to work anymore. So they're just like, what do you want? Oh, okay. Yeah. Like, it's just like, it used to be like way better too. Customer service. Remember when the customer was always right? Remember those days? I miss those days. I gotta stop rambling. I've been ranting for 22 minutes, but I better stop. Good morning. Oh my God, my friend's over here. He found me over here on YouTube from TikTok. I was gonna jump back on TikTok because I'm finally unbanned. But I can post this. What's cool is I can post this. Carl's here too now. You guys should follow him. He's got a channel. I've only got 5 people in here, but that's okay. I'll post this video though, because some of it was kind of funny. At least like that you can post your live on here and on Twitch and stuff. I don't look good. I don't have my makeup yet. I'm waiting for the Care Now appointment though, and I was laughing about the 6 boxes for the gender that I could pick from. Because I'm sure they're gonna ask me that when I check in for the cough. It's been like you ever make a doctor's appointment and then it's like you finally heal up? I'm like, oh, I'm better now. I'm not having the cough. But it was like a deep. Yeah, well, I just don't always do the filters and all that. I'm trying to cover myself so yeah, so when I walk in, they're going to be like, and what? They're going to check my gender identity and figure out what I picked. And I said that I don't identify with either. So what are they going to say? Like, you had pneumonia? See, I don't know if I have it. How would you know? I had like this rattling. I'm trying to do the sound, but you know the sound when you sound like a seal or an otter or something. Like, I don't know. That deep, like, yeah, that's why I said seal. Like, my lung was like doing that. It's been going on for too long because I'm waiting for allergy like results. Because apparently I took a Benadryl when I wasn't supposed to, so they didn't think my skin test was accurate, and so then she did blood, so I'm waiting to find out what allergies. Oh, I don't really have a hard time breathing, so that's the difference if you have pneumonia. It's like a rattling. It's because of all the phlegm, like the mucus from the pollen. We're in our allergy season really bad, and I'm sick of dealing with it. So anyway, I better hang up on here. I might jump over on TikTok later, though. I miss you guys. I'll post this, though. It's kind of interesting.